a lot of people are like, well, you need to be grateful for this and that. And it's like, well, a lot of people are having other issues going on right now. They're out of work. They've lost their jobs. They're sick. Um, like I said, they're estranged from their families or whatever. You know what I mean? That's like saying um, you can't be happy because there's people that are happier than you. There's people that, it doesn't make sense. I've actually had people tell me that, they're like, how dare you? You are so lucky. You're this, you're that. And it's like, I know, I'm grateful for what I do have, but I do have down times and I do get sad about things and I'm allowed to. You can't tell me that I can't be unhappy. I am. I'm unhappy sometimes. This is going to be a different Thanksgiving for us. Okay, guys, we're going to film in my bathroom again. I've got a lot going on and, I got a house full. The kids are downstairs. They're watching the last season of Stranger Things because the new season comes out tonight. And oh my God, we are so excited. If you know, you're either a Stranger Things obsessed fan or you're not. But anyway, before that, I thought I need to come up and film a video because I'm going to be all wrapped up in that after, watching that. And then tomorrow morning I'm getting up early because we're doing the marathon, the Thanksgiving Day walkathon or whatever. So I got to get up at like 5:30 because you got to be there at 6:30. So, but anyway, I'm doing my nails. I took them off and I found some the nails and the nail charms that I wanted. Can you see? Isn't that cute? I don't know if they're going to work, if I'm going to hate them and be miserable, but I thought this is the perfect time to find out. So I'm going to give it a try. But I wanted to talk about, tomorrow's Thanksgiving, and it's not happy for everybody. I see everybody saying Happy Thanksgiving, and this is the time to give thanks and be grateful, and and it is, and I know that's what it is for a lot of people, but for some people, it's not a happy time, and you have to remember that. I think, you need to be sensitive to that fact because a lot of people have lost family members. My mom, her birthday is November 24th and it falls on Thanksgiving some years. So, and she's been gone for, I think, 27 years now. So, I always think about her on Thanksgiving, and my daughter and her share the same birthday. But anyway, there's people that have lost really close family members, siblings, parents, children, spouses. There's a lot of people that are estranged from their families and they're all alone at Thanksgiving. So, it's not a happy time. Not everybody has the Norman Rockwell, family like scene going on, and it's okay. It's okay to be sad. You don't have to fake being happy just because everybody else is telling you, oh, you need to be grateful and you need to be, of course, we should always be grateful, but we can also be sad sometimes. It's okay. It's okay to feel down or be upset or whatever. You don't have to pretend for other people. If you're feeling sad, that's okay. I used to put on a happy face even when I was really depressed because I was, I didn't want to upset everybody else, and it's like, but what about me? When do I get to feel my feelings? It's okay sometimes, and we forget that. And a lot of people are like, well, you need to be grateful for this and that. And it's like, well, a lot of people are having other issues going on right now. They're out of work. They've lost their jobs. They're sick. Like I said, they're estranged from their families or whatever, or even something simple like they're on a new way of eating, which, I started that last year, and Thanksgiving was kind of a bummer because, there was going to be all this yummy food that I couldn't eat. I tried to find alternatives and it was okay, but it was kind of a bummer, but I mean, I made it through and I was glad that I did, but still it wasn't, the normal feast I was used to. And the thing is, when we tell people you need to suck it up and you need to just be grateful. You're so lucky to live in this country, or you're so lucky to have your health, and you're so lucky to have food to put on the table, even though maybe some people couldn't afford to buy a traditional Thanksgiving dinner, well, then make a can of soup and be grateful for it. And it's like, because there's always people that are worse off, right? You're so lucky because people in other countries are this or that or whatever. And it's like, it's not a competition, on who's worse off and who's, I don't know. It's not a competition, and it doesn't negate your feelings. If you're sad, you're not going to have your normal family gathering or your traditional holiday, and you're sad about it, and it still looks better than what this person's holiday is. It doesn't mean that you can't be sad. It doesn't, their situation, or where they're at, their station in life, or whatever's going on, does it take away from you. It doesn't negate your feelings. You know what I mean? That's like saying, you can't be happy because there's people that are happier than you. There's people that, it doesn't make sense. I've actually had people tell me that, they're like, how dare you? You are so lucky. You're this, you're that. And it's like, I know, I'm grateful for what I do have, but I do have down times, and I do get sad about things, and I'm allowed to. You can't tell me that I can't be unhappy. I am. I'm unhappy sometimes. This is going to be a different Thanksgiving for us. I'm not sad about it, though, to be honest with you, but it is going to be different. It isn't our traditional Thanksgiving. Normally we host it, and my husband does all the cooking, and everybody brings a dish, and it's wonderful and all that. Well, this year everybody's kind of going to their in-laws, which is fine, and my daughter's not here because she moved away about 2 years ago, so she won't be with us. And it'll just be my husband and myself. We will have the grandkids, they'll be with us a little bit tomorrow morning, and then they go to their mom's for Thanksgiving this year, and that's fine. We're going to be here alone, and we're actually looking forward to it because it's going to be different than what we normally do. We're still going to make some yummy food. And after, doing the marathon, I'm going to come home and probably put my pajamas on, and we're going to just lay around, and we're going to watch, planes, trains, and automobiles. And I'll probably go online and do some Christmas shopping. So, I'm not sad. I'm going to FaceTime with my daughter, and I'll talk to all my kids at one point or another during the day, and the grandkids and all that. And we'll be together for Christmas, and so yeah, I'm not the least bit sad about it. It's just going to be different. My husband and I have talked about actually taking a cruise sometime for the holidays, but right now we wouldn't want to because we're a big part of, the family holidays, Nana and Papa, and we like to do things with the grandkids, and we're not at that point where we would enjoy going away. I would just be thinking about them the whole time. It's like, wonder what my grandkids are doing to my kids, But at some point, when I know they've moved on and they have things going on and stuff, and then I'll be fine, doing that. But right now, I would feel like I was abandoning them, and it wouldn't work for me. Now, I know a lot of people. I get some weird comments from people, and if you're a doting grandmother like I am, you get it. We get joy out of it. A lot of people say, you shouldn't center your lives around your kids or grandkids. That's not it. That's not what we're doing. That's what being a family is. You have your kids, you raise them. They're these wonderful human beings. And now you get to share in their lives. They like you, you like them. We vacation together. We have holidays together. Yeah, I do, center my life around them somewhat. I wouldn't want to move away from that. Why would I do that? And just go somewhere and be away from it when they enjoy me as much as I enjoy them. If we didn't get along, and I guess we got a job offer somewhere else, maybe I would consider it, but that would be foolish, to leave this gift of this family that I have. I don't understand that thinking. The only thing I can imagine is that, that person can't relate because they don't have that with their family. So they don't understand it. And that's okay. I'm not saying anything bad because I know there's a lot of families that are like that. And just difference in families, I guess. We're a very, very, very tight knit family. Even my grandkids and my kids talk about us buying a communal property together because we all want to be together so much. We always do things together, like this Stranger Things. We're all into it. It's like, so we're all going to get together and we're going to do it together. We enjoy each other's company. How long did I talk? Okay. Well, this is how far I got on my nails because I cannot multitask. But anyway, I wanted to stop in and just, give my 2 cents about that. Because like I said, I see a lot of people right now that are online and they're like, oh, happy Thanksgiving. It's going to be great. And, be grateful and all this stuff. And then, I've noticed some friends are being very quiet, and it's because they're not going to be happy tomorrow. They've recently lost jobs or found out they were sick or they're estranged from their families or they don't have families. And it's like they're allowed to feel, I'm not going to shame them into not being grateful. Even, if they're well off financially, it still doesn't take the place of, um, getting together with family and friends. We used to do Friendsgiving when we were younger, and that was fun too. I mean, we'd have our Thanksgiving with our family, and then we'd have a separate one with the friends, and that was fun too. We don't do that anymore. Our friends they're just as busy as we are. But anyway, for those of you that are going to be home, enjoy it. Find something to do. Stay in your pajamas. Pamper yourself. You know, take a nap. I was gonna say order pizza, but I don't think there's any pizza places open. There might be. We've talked about doing that. Ordering food out on Thanksgiving because I don't cook. My husband does all the cooking. So if at some point he decides he doesn't want to do it, then that's what we're gonna do. Because God knows I wouldn't want to ruin everybody's Thanksgiving by attempting to cook a Thanksgiving meal. I did when I was younger, and I don't know how. I look back at it, it's like, how did I do that? Because I've tried since then, and I just end up burning everything. I'm so scatterbrained, I guess, is the word. I'm always thinking about other things, and I forget about this thing. You know what I mean? It's just, I'm a disaster in the kitchen. I'm an absolute disaster, but it's okay because I don't enjoy it. But my husband does, and that's why he's good at it. So I leave that to him. So anyway, I am going to attempt to do this, and then I got to get ready to watch Stranger Things. I'm just so excited. It's been 3 years, I think, since the last one. We have waited a long time for this, and it better live up to all the hype. I'm just telling you, because we have been that's all we do. Our whole family, we're sending memes and, sites to visit and watching YouTube shows. And it's like, obsessed much? Yeah, we're total fans. But, one Halloween, the whole family dressed up as characters from Stranger Things. And that was fun. I like that. Maybe this summer or this next Halloween, we'll do it again. So anyway, okay, I keep talking. I'm going to have to let you guys go. You guys have a great day tomorrow, and I will see you Friday.